Alright, so the latest news from Germany is about these nearly 5,000 farms that have been shut down because of dioxin contaminated eggs and pig meat. Dioxin is basically a cancer causing poison, and 3,000 tons worth of dioxin contaminated animal feed went out to various farms, was fed to the animals, and now there's a real risk that the contaminated eggs that people have eaten could cause, big health problems. This started in Germany, but loads of eggs were exported to the Netherlands, and apparently it's now entered the British food chain through liquid egg products like cakes and pastries and things like that. So yeah, the consequences of this could be quite substantial. It does cause cancer, dioxin, and it also causes miscarriages in women. And this got me thinking, if this isn't another reason to become vegetarian, then I don't know what is. Coincidentally, I'm reading this book at the moment called Eating Animals, which is all about factory farmed animals. And the lives of these chickens who lay eggs is really miserable. They spend their whole life in a cage, which apparently is the size of this open book, which is a really small book. So they never see the daylight. They never have any kind of a normal life. As soon as they're not capable of laying eggs anymore, they're just slaughtered. And the chickens that are raised for meat have an equally terrible life. They are raised in, again, really cramped conditions, thousands of birds to one shed. They don't see the natural daylight. They're full of drugs, full of antibiotics. They're often deformed because the chickens have been genetically manipulated so they produce the most amount of breast meat. So the chickens aren't, developed naturally. They're literally force grown. This causes, disabilities, deformities. The chickens often have broken bones, broken wings because of these deformities. The slaughter process is absolutely horrendous. These chickens are treated, without any kind of care or respect when they're shipped to be slaughtered, which often causes more broken bones. So they arrive at slaughter often in pain, if they haven't been in pain the whole life. The slaughter process, they go along a conveyor belt, and first of all they're dragged through an electrified bath, which is supposed to stun them before they're slaughtered, but often it doesn't stun them, so they go through the electric throat slitting machine still alive, and oftentimes they even survive this throat slitting machine. And the next stage after that is to be dunked into a scalding bath. So oftentimes chickens are still alive when they go in this bath, so they literally get scalded to death. And yeah, it's just totally outrageous, barbaric. It's literally torture. It's literally a life of torture, which ends in severe pain and torture. That's what you're buying into if you buy factory farmed chicken. And you're buying into torture, you're buying into pain, you're buying into suffering, and it's just horrendous, really. And if the life of the chicken isn't enough to convince you to become vegetarian, well, I'm going to read a little bit from this book, Eating Animals, which is about what happens to the chicken after death, because there are loads of health implications from eating factory farmed poultry. Let me just read a little bit out here. Journalist Scott Bronstein wrote a remarkable series for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution about poultry inspection, which should be required reading for anyone considering eating chicken. He conducted interviews with nearly 100 USDA poultry inspectors from 37 plants. So this is obviously in the US, but conditions aren't much different in the rest of the world and in Europe. Every week, he reports, millions of chickens leaking yellow pus, stained by green feces, contaminated by harmful bacteria, or marred by lung and heart infections, cancerous tumours, or skin conditions are shipped for sale to consumers. Next, the chickens go to a massive refrigerated tank of water, where thousands of birds are communally cooled. Tom Devine, from the Government Accountability Project, has said that the water in these tanks has been aptly named fecal soup for all the filth and bacteria floating around. By immersing clean, healthy birds in the same tank with dirty ones, you're practically assuring cross-contamination. So the birds basically soak up this so-called fecal soup, and that's then sold to you, the consumer. And you're also eating birds that are pumped full of chemicals, of drugs, antibiotics, full of diseases, full of bacteria, and there are real health implications for you eating this factory farm chicken. Going back to the thing in Germany, I mean, I don't eat meat, so the pig meat thing isn't an issue. I do eat eggs, but I eat biological free-range eggs, and I just hope that what they're sold as is accurate, because the eggs that I'm buying, are sold as the chickens can roam around in a field and they are fed with biological feed. So touch wood that I'm going to escape this dioxin poisoning, but who knows what's going to happen to all the people who've eaten these eggs. And my basic message is it's just time to wake up to what factory farming actually is. And I'm not trying to moralize or preach really, but I'm sure I'm going to get some thumbs down for this, and the truth is hard to face sometimes, and the truth is that factory farming is torture. Alright, that's all I've got for today. I hope you can check out the MistrBrit show tonight. Catch you later.